Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Now come on in. Now come. Sorry, y'all. Y'all know I'm weird. Whatever.
Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead. Hey everybody, what's up? It's your girl Bondi Blue. Okay, follow me on Instagram and let's get into the video, right?
I am back. I am back to review another set of Carlos King reality shows on OWN Network. How long I will be here, I do not know. When is Love and Hip Hop Miami coming back on? It needs to hurry up. So, Belle Collective. Gucci and Akeisha meet up. Now, see, if you don't know how I feel about this situation, let me break it down to you real quick. I blame Gucci. I feel like Gucci is the one that popped off on Selena. Selena is just the one that got the first licking. But essentially, you rolled up on that lady. You was acting like you was about to do something, and she was not going to wait for you to hit her before she hit you. That's what makes sense. Now, instead of letting this rock like normal middle to lower class hood bitches do, you decided to try to be a middle upper class bitch and file charges. So now we got to go to court. The weird part is you expected the family to be able to get along and go along after you filed charges about a fight that you initiated. You got on this show and pretended to be a victim. And then on top of that, you were trying to ostracize Selena, making it seem like Selena was chasing behind you, trying to come on the show that you're on, as if we didn't already know Selena before we knew you by way of DD4L in them on Lifetime. We already knew Selena, girl. We knew the daughters too. We didn't know you. We knew JJ. We did not know you. You finally get your time to shine on Belle Collective, but really you show yourself being, I feel like, a jealous-hearted, envious type woman. I think you hating on Selena just because Selena is Selena, because Selena is seen as being more attractive than you. I do. I think JJ probably has created triangulation to keep you pushing to do whatever it is to keep him. So on some level, I think when y'all are home, he probably does mention Selena in a way that makes you feel insecure about yourself and your standing in y'all's relationship. And so what we see on the show is you trying to act like you are unbothered and you are above Selena when really you are really bothered. You are really bothered. Okay? That's what it shows to me. Especially once you initiated the altercation, trying to play that lady for just being disrespectful for no reason. It was completely out of pocket, like calling her a fan, whatever it is you called. Girl, all of that was extra for no reason. It shows me that you really wanted to try to make Selena feel less than in that moment, because that's how you always feel in comparison to her. So y'all got to go to court. You the one that initiated the court situation. So now the people that were there have to show up to court in order to give testimony if they are called upon. Now, Tambra wasn't subpoenaed, but she was called upon by a lawyer. I'm guessing Selena's lawyer, because she's friends with them. Whatever the situation, if you initiate the court filings, you can't get mad when people show up and tell the truth. That's how I feel. At the end of the day, you can't get mad when people show up and tell the truth. Unless they lying, because people, act like they telling the truth, but really they be up there lying. Unless they getting up there lying, unless they are, trying really hard to be vindictive in some type of way, I just feel like the truth is the truth. That's just what it is. I don't really feel like you could ever really be that mad at the truth. That's just my opinion. Lies are far more harmful. So to me, even if we don't like the truth coming out, it's the truth. And I can't get mad about that. That's just a principle of mine. So when it came to So Gucci, if you didn't want people to have to come and tell the truth about how that fight went down, your ass should not have filed charges. You should have let it be what it was going to be. Because now you up here on the first episode of this season talking about Selena, mad at Tambra, mad at Latrice because they showed up to give their testimony that you very much were charging towards Selena. I'm more than sure that's what you're upset about. Y'all haven't been specific about it, but I am more than sure that you are upset because then people showed up and said that you were charging towards Selena when she hit you, which could have been seen as self-defense. It's just my opinion on the girl. Okay. But now you upset. Leticia, because nothing matters more to Leticia besides keeping a check on this show than Glendale is bringing y'all hoes together so we can keep this check on this show, showcasing me and Glendale. That's Leticia Pearson's mindset at all times, as far as I'm concerned. So when you really look at it, Leticia is the snakiest of everybody. Leticia is the one that's going to act like she has sense in front of everybody, but on the phone and behind the scenes, she's manipulative. She's setting shit up. She's really, like, she's a gutter snipe. For lack of a better term, Leticia is a gutter snipe that pretends that she's not by riding around in a Cayenne Porsche, wearing nicely textured but not nicely executed wigs and business suits that she got from Ross or TJ Maxx, okay? Probably with a little fake Louis Vuitton bag. It might be real, but she probably had to go and pay a whole bunch of payments on it to get it. Mm-hmm. Scammer, if you will. And Glendale, if it was not for him having his legit job, you just an OG drug dealer that realized it was in your best interest to go and get a legit job. And if you wasn't a drug dealer, you given I always had a regular job, but I've always been disrespectful and a hoe. And you think you God's gift simply because you have straight teeth and you have, a little money and probably a good hygiene practice. That's what Glendale gives me. I smell good. Okay. My teeth are nice. I can be very charismatic. I'm Southern. I open doors. I pull out chairs. But ultimately, at some point, I'm going to cheat on you, dog you out. And then when you get mad about it, I'm going to flip it on you and make it seem like you not being the woman you supposed to be because you're not just shutting up and going along with me fucking over you. And we're going to go through like a cycle of that. But in that, it's a whole lot of fighting and fucking. And you a ghetto girl. So essentially, you love that shit. We're good for each other. That's what's going on there. So Leticia and Glendale are working on a rental property, and she comes in with her little business suit on. Y'all know we gotta see her in her Porsche. She roll up, she come inside. He in there with a tight beater on and in some very slim fit jeans that could have been slightly bigger for the type of work we was doing. But you know what? I'm not gonna press you on it. Either way, whatever he was doing, he ain't moving fast enough for Leticia. And he don't like the way Leticia talking to him like she's his employer. Sir, if you not down to that job, that lady probably acting as your employer. Okay? But to me, this is just a man-woman thing. As much as y'all rely on men to do things, they really don't pay attention to them unless the woman is aggravating them about it. And that's like really annoying to me. Okay, I thought I was about to get me, like a little bisexual stud with a Bob the Builder belt. That's what I thought I was gonna get. People be lying. So they cool. Latrice and Selena meet up at Latrice's construction site. Now, mind you, we haven't even seen. Did they show us any clips of Latrice's hair salon being completely built before they started a restaurant business? Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if that hair salon, because my lash keep turning down, girl. If that hair salon is not done, but you have already started the process of a joint business venture with that man, it is simply to deter you from doing what you was doing for yourself so y'all can do something together. So it's something he's always tied to. I need to okay, that's what I thought. It's given, I'm gonna give you something else to do along the same lines, but it's more of a us thing than a you thing, so that you don't do the you thing, because the more you work on your you thing, the more you can leave me. And I don't want you to leave me. I don't want you to actually, become independent, see that I'm not worthy of all of this tiresome circular argumenting that we do, and move on and just be at peace in your life with your money and your business. I don't want you to do that. So I'm going to make it hard for you to finish doing what you need to do for yourself and then pull you into doing something for us. That should satisfy your ego of feeling like you're doing something, you're building something, especially with your husband, because you want to be able to prove to people this is not an abusive relationship. So you show up like, oh, look what he doing for us. Look at what we doing together. Girl, Latrice, Go run it on somebody else. Go run it on somebody else. It's a whole bunch of women in imbalanced, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially abusive relationships. And when somebody points it out to them, they get mad at the people that pointed it out to them. They want to be able to live in their delusion. Their delusion is what makes them feel comfortable. Anytime you try to break them out of their delusion, they start like, like they about to overpower and blow a circuit or something. So you just have to leave them where they are until either they figure it out for themselves or they get tired out, dehydrated, cortisol levels high. You end up finding out you got breast cancer or some shit like that. Like it is terrible. It's terrible. Okay. Because women don't, because that's how a lot of women, I'm not saying that just to be saying it. A lot of women get autoimmune deficiency diseases because they are internalizing all of the bullshit. They're internalizing the abuse. And instead of doing something about it to release themselves of it, they just get more comfortable in the abuse and get more angry whenever somebody points it out to them. That's all this looks like to me, if I'm just being real with y'all. Okay. Everybody knows and likes Selena Bagucci. Okay. Latrice talks about how she had to go and, talk down to the courthouse on Selena's behalf in that whole situation was so Gucci. She talked about that. So now Gucci mad at her girl. Gucci always mad. Don't nobody care. um Latrice and Cliff are fighting about the restaurant now. So they went from fighting about her hair salon to now they're fighting about the restaurant. Selena tells us about her man Michael. They've been together for 4 years. They were at the same hot food truck, situation. Her homegirl's like, "Girl, you gotta go try this hot sausage," and he gave her the last one. So he gave her the last, sausages, and they've been together for 4 years ever since. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Tisha sent out a message, to call everyone to a collective correction is what she's calling it. And I'm like, girl, you are so good with words. I wish you would translate that into real shit. You say you do, but we always get scammer from you, Leticia. Just somebody that's very good with their words. You really should try to go be a politician or something because you're good with your words. I don't know how much sense you really got, but you're good with your words, girl. Okay. Or maybe not a politician, but somebody that helps politicians, bring people in. You know what I'm saying? Somebody that could be of service to somebody with more sense. You need to, just focus on what you're good at. Marie. Girl, Marie and her new nose introduce her to her cousins that don't like her. And the thing that annoys me about Marie is every season, Marie's storyline is how she's helping people in her life and they shitting on her. Okay, like she is forever in victimhood, but girl, we really want to see what's going on in your life that's good. Besides, your two, no disrespect, overweight cousins that's mad because you make them feel bad about themselves because you make money and you on a reality show now, even though you didn't gave them jobs, help them, they still feel like you being you is making them feel bad about themselves. Let me tell you something. When the girl said we called you to come down for the birthday party and you didn't answer, I totally understood why. When people are always calling you for something, you start to get anxiety whenever they call. So you don't want to answer because you feel like either they're going to be asking you for some shit you don't feel like doing, asking you for some money you don't have to give them, or in some way, shape, or form, dragging you into some type of argument or some mess with somebody else that you really don't want to be a part of. Either way, they're there to extract energy from you that you don't feel like you want to give in the moment. And so you don't answer. And then you find out that they was calling to invite you to something. Girl, I didn't want to go because I knew once I came, somebody was going to be asking me for something. So now that makes them feel bad even more so. But this is the thing about being the family members that don't know how to get it yourself. So you get mad at other people in your family for getting it and not pulling you up with them. That's not somebody's responsibility to pull you up all the time, especially as a grown ass woman with a coochie and children. You need to figure out a way to make it happen for yourself. If you have a family member that can give you the game on something, that's great. But the expectation that people are supposed to be doing anything for you based on y'all familiar relationship, I don't know. I don't abide. I don't abide. I don't. I'm sorry. I just don't. And the reason why I feel like that is because, first of all, People have not done it for me. People will do stuff for me, but I ain't never had nobody like pulling me up and all of that type of shit. Everything I got, I had to get through my own hard work. Okay, through my own mental, through my own consistency, not because anybody else was like, oh, let me put this in your hands. Like, no, that's not how any of this works. And so, me personally, I always feel like if I can help somebody, it don't cost me nothing, and that's what I'll do. But I'm not going out of my way if I don't feel like it, because people don't do that for me. So why should I do that for anybody else? And also, the main reason why is because some people are not meant to come with you. Because if they were, they'd be figuring out how to be alongside you instead of always asking you for shit. That I don't know. I don't know what y'all want me to say, but that's how I feel. Okay. Moving on from there. So I kind of was on Marie's side with that, but also I feel like that's a part of Marie's shtick, is to show us all of the lesser people, and I'm saying lesser because they have lesser people in her family that are always relying on her. So we will see all the pressure that she's under, and I'm guessing that will in some way excuse why she acts like a bitch with everybody, girl. I don't know. Because I mean, essentially, Marie, you give people your ass to kiss no matter whether they're asking you for something or not. Because the women that are on the show haven't asked you for a goddamn thing. They're actually on your level, and you find a way to feel insecure about them. You and your family got a lot in common. Maybe you should hang around them more often so that you can see yourself. Now, for real. Now, I realized that one of my things, feeling sorry for myself, like in certain situations, or not even feeling sorry for myself, but feeling like, oh, they ain't think about me. They wasn't worrying about me. My mama does that shit. My mama does that shit. And the first feeling that I feel is, please don't internalize whatever people got going on. Who fucking cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, please don't internalize it. Even though you understand somebody's feelings getting hurt, especially my mom, I understand. But at the same time, you don't want them to be hurt. So you want them to just kind of brush the shit off, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be around people that don't want to be around you. That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? But either way, girl, I realized that I was like, now I know that I can't, I got to stop thinking that way, because I don't like when she do that shit. So now I realize I have to stop doing that. If I'm feeling slighted in some way, it is what it is. I don't need to be involved. And that's how I carry myself in general, because Jerome always kicks in. Jerome always kicks in. And Jerome is okay. We ain't got nothing else to say. There's nothing else going on. We tapped out. We are now disinterested. Lights are off. No one's home. All right. So the collection correction. Akeisha got approved to bring a business down to Ferris Street. They talk, and Tisha is emotional because she feels like she doesn't have Latrice or any of the other women in her life anymore to rely on when she's going through her ups and downs with Glendale. And it's like, well, that's your fault. That's your fault. That is your fault, girl. Because essentially, to me, it sounds like Leticia went out of her way to start mess with people behind the scenes so that she can have shit to talk about on the show. That's what I think. Okay. I think her and Latrice were doing a lot of messy shit the first couple of seasons of this show, on the phone talking about the messy shit they was doing. You decided to choose Marie's side over Latrice, make Latrice out to seem like she's some out of control alcoholic for the sake of this show. Now she not your friend no more. But I'm also looking at Latrice like, well, Leticia has always been this way. But when she wasn't doing it to you, you didn't have a problem with it. And that's where you got to realize, people being assholes to a certain degree, they will eventually do that shit to you. So don't be surprised, right? Don't be surprised. And I feel like on some level, Latrice is not surprised. But also, I don't have to be around you anymore if I don't feel like it. And now Leticia is over there crying. Maybe you should be a different person to people, Leticia. Okay. In all honesty, I don't even know if I believe your tears. I think what's most important for you is to be on this reality show so you can have this ego attached to what you feel like you've worked for and earned and all of that shit, which I understand, because personally, my own ego and validation is tied to how much work I put into shit. Not necessarily anything, just, no, I put in work. I'm consistent. I do what I'm supposed to do. Like, that is where the validation comes in. And I feel like, your therapist and them be telling you that's not even good, because you feel like you're not a good person or you're not worthy if you're not doing something or you're not accomplishing some fucking goal all the time. And that shit, girl, you can't get stuck in that hamster wheel because it's great to be productive. But sometimes as human beings, we need to do nothing for no reason at all. Just nothing. Nothing. Sit here, pontificate, bitch. Fall asleep, wake up, eat a snack, go back to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like you need times where you are doing absolutely nothing. It is not a time to be productive. It is a time to do and just do nothing and just be. Right? Like we need times like that. So Leticia, I don't know, whatever. Akeisha brings up Latrice, girl, and I didn't even know this. Apparently, this has been going on behind the scenes, and I didn't even know. Girl, Latrice told Akeisha that Leticia and Glendale was trying to set Willie up by sending some woman to his DMs. Did y'all hear about this? Did y'all hear about this, people? I need to, I'm looking over here at my chat because I'm trying to understand, girl. I did not know nothing about this, and I feel a way about it. I feel a way about it because I feel like, what kind of weird ass shit is that? Like, you really trying so hard to make Akeisha look bad because you jealous because Akeisha was actually able to accomplish getting a business and a property on Ferry Street versus just talking about it like you were doing. Like that's what it's giving me. You decided to try to go after that lady marriage because you know her husband was the only one on the show that act like he had some real respect for his wife. That's what it felt like for me. Okay. So the way Akeisha just brushed that shit off, like, bitch, I wish the fuck I would believe anything that y'all trying to put out there about my man, girl. Don't worry about it. Me and Willie are fine. Okay. I appreciate Akeisha for that. And I know Latrice told her that because Latrice was trying to get back at Leticia for choosing sides with Marie and coming at her sideways at the reunion show. I believe it. Latrice wants everybody to apologize for coming at her and trying to make it seem like she was in an abusive relationship and she was really going at Akeisha with this. And Akeisha was like, no, bitch, that's not the same thing. And she really wanted to say it's not the same thing because she's trying to lie about my husband. We're actually worried about you based on what we've seen and heard, seeing you and Cliff interact with each other. We're actually coming to you about us being worried about you because that man looked like he'd be putting his hands on you because you act like somebody that can't leave a household if they really want to. You act like you're in an abusive relationship, Latrice. Nobody's making anything up about you. So I don't know why you felt like you needed an apology about that shit. I was just looking at Latrice like, girl, if you don't get the fuck out of here with that, like, no, I don't. There's no real resolve, but they just decided to take a picture, call it a day. Marie was the only one that wasn't there. And I feel like if she was there, it would have been way more arguing than there was. Then we see Latrice meet with the dentist Antoinette, who was on the very first season and left. And Antoinette is there to talk shit about the other women, specifically Leticia, because the last time she was on the show, Leticia tried to make it seem like Antoinette was flirting with Glendale's ass. And Antoinette is like, girl, the way I would have handled that situation, the way he's been disrespecting you, girl, I would never have been with a man like that. And you accuse me of trying to flirt with that nigga, girl, goodbye. No. Okay, so Cameron, I see what you're saying. And let me say this. I feel like, what help do you need, bitch? Because sometimes people don't even realize they're in abusive relationships until somebody tell them they're in an abusive relationship. Sometimes you don't realize how bad you're being treated until somebody brings it to your attention. You know that this is not how it's supposed to go, right? Because a lot of us have only seen abusive relationships. That's all we've seen. So that's normal. And Latrice talked about how her daddy was abusive to the mama. So to me, I feel like ultimately, if that's all you know, your friends making you aware of something that you have a blind spot to is as much help as they really need to do sometimes. Latrice is not poor. Latrice has her own money. Latrice can leave and go live somewhere else if she wanted to. Now, does she need us to lie for her and hide her? If that's the case, I do think that Akeisha would be somebody that would be like, girl, you could come to my house because we know Cliff ain't going to be able to do shit to Willie. So I do feel like if Latrice actually wanted help, I do feel like Akeisha, if anybody, would have offered help and actually been able to stand behind it. Girl, Akeisha is the one you go stay by till you get on your feet and then fuck around and turn the shit into a domestic violence donate to domestic violence. Girl, we gonna help these other women that's been through what we've been through. We gonna turn this into a blessing for other people because we didn't got, like, to me, Akeisha's mindset is alongside that. Be about it and then use it to your advantage to push yourself forward and help other people. That's, to me, Akeisha's mindset. So if we being real, I do feel like help would be available to her if she wanted it. You know what I'm saying? No, I know. I know it's hard to leave. Trust me. I'm very full aware of how hard it is to leave. For a number of different reasons. Sometimes out of fear, sometimes out of codependency, sometimes out of the fact that you don't want to upset your life because you are comfortable in your dysfunction. You feel scared to move on. What are you going to do? You've probably been told repeatedly that nobody's going to want you like they want you. Nobody's going to love you like they love you. So if you leave, then you'll have to actually be in your own silence, deal with your own shit, be by yourself. And that sometimes is far more scary than being in a relationship with somebody that's abusive because you go through the cycle of fight, fuck. And that's enjoyable for a lot of people. So I could definitely say. I don't think so, Cameron. I think that the shit probably was said off camera first and then on camera after that. But I feel like outside of that, they weren't even talking about it. To me, Leticia was being more messy about it than Akeisha was. But the viewers were noticing it and saying something before the people on the show were saying it, as far as I'm concerned. That's why I feel like I don't necessarily feel like nobody owes you an apology for saying your nigga looks abusive. Like, what's wrong with you? Especially because Cliff has been disrespectful to other people. Like, Cliff then went in and talk crazy to other people. So yeah, I'm sorry, but and plus, yeah, the dynamics of their relationship with him being the same age as her damn daddy, like, girl, like, it's absolutely on abuse, girl. It's teetering on abuse, girl. Her accomplishments makes her feel like she doesn't have to leave because she looks at him as being beneficial to it. I think that's the blind spot for her. Yes. And I think that Cliff is not your average ain't shit nigga, meaning that he actually is of value in some way, shape, or form. Now you ain't gotta agree with everything I say. That's not, but I do like to have the conversation about it. But I do feel like Leticia was being messy. I do. I don't know if I felt like it was genuine coming from Leticia. I don't feel like that. But with Akeisha, shoot, that was the only one that I felt like was really trying to handle it less messy. But also, like, we're gonna have to talk about the fact that people are noticing bruises on you, bitch. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think she's still at the stage where she needs to realize that she's being abused and her friends just gotta wait for her. Basically. But I do agree with Shy Girl's perspective. Specifically, pun intended. Because yeah, I do feel like it's about her accomplishments. The fact that he does not keep her from doing anything. And I recognize it so well because I felt like my dad was the same way. Like, he didn't stop my mom from being successful. He wasn't very gender, oh, this is for a man, so this is for a woman to do. That wasn't really a conversation. What needs to be done, we're gonna get it done. You know what I'm saying? Because my dad was also very clean and cleaned after himself and was a really good cook. And, you know what I'm saying, did the grocery shopping, but still paid most of the bills. Like, so we didn't have those same gender norms in my household to begin with. It's hard to see somebody as being a controlling abuser when they also don't fit the keep you in the house barefoot and pregnant thing. You know what I'm saying? I wonder if that's why Latrice does that tick often. She very much is jumpy. She's very much jumpy. And I think that's something else that we were noticing last season was how jumpy she can be. And a lot of times that's definitely a telltale sign that somebody's being abused. Dad husband relationship is what they have, and it's just wrong. It is. It is. It is very girl. Girl. That's not what you want for yourself. Latrice is in denial. Cliff doesn't stop her, but in my opinion, he belittles her success and accomplishments. Yes. And he also impedes her process. He may not stop her completely, but that's coming from the point of wanting her to be able to make her own money, because you don't want to feel like she only with you because you got money. A lot of men who use their money to get women want the women to validate that they're there not just for the money. So you having your own shit, your own business, lets everybody know she not just with me because I take care of her, because she got her own. Even though he keeps her from being as successful as she possibly could be, because he knows that that independence might take her away from him. I wonder if he abusive, but not in the way her father. It was so she can't see it. That happens as well. People compare abuse. So if they've seen worse abuse, whatever abuse they're actually dealing with, they won't see it as abuse because it doesn't fit the label of what they went through before. You know what I'm saying? If somebody ain't putting their hands on them every day, it doesn't feel like abuse. Even though the person is controlling and you emotionally and mentally walk on eggshells because they're always in some type of, either cool and good, or you can say anything and they pop off, or anything could happen and now we're arguing. You know what I'm saying? Now the whole day is fucked up because something small happened and they lost their cool, and now you have to deal with it for the rest of the day. Them talking to you crazy because they're upset about something else. Those types of things. And I think that's why she doesn't want kids with him. Absolutely. Absolutely. And if she had kids for him, I will wonder if it would have one or two effects. Either you're going to want to stay with him even more so, or you're going to want to leave him because you're going to feel like at some point, I don't want my kids to go through this shit. Like that can happen either way. Abuse comes in many different forms. My mom dealt with financial abuse from her ex-husband. Yes, it does. It does. Abuse comes in many different forms. But anyway, that's really all that's going on Belle Collective. It was cute enough. Okay, it was cute enough. We'll give them a little sight. Yeah. Love that. All right, y'all. So we're gonna take a quick little break. And when we come back, we'll get into love and marriage. Huntsville girl.